Ready? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we got it.
Can't even help you out.
What I'm going to try to do briefly is go over all the meetings where we've done presentations related to financial.
Again, the same information again.
Mary Ann,
It's the same
Mary Ann,
information, yes.
Victoria, I'm allowed to talk.
wait a minute. Wait,
I am allowed to
wait a
talk.
minute.
How many times do you have to hear it?
Is this
Well,
all the
obviously-
information? Is this all the information, Randy?
These are,
Do we have all the information?
all this information has been presented in the past, yes.
And this is all of it? I mean, this is all we need to see now?
You haven't
Well,
changed
there's
it. Have you
several-
changed it since the last time?
No, nothing is.
Nothing
I mean, I thought we
You
didn't
guys
have
tell, the
why we
press
didn't have
has it, we
discussion?
have it, they have it. So what's the point of this? Emphasizing that.
My point is that there's lies and inaccuracies going on. We want to put the numbers up.
Say
and
nothing
numbers
has
up.
changed.
But they're lies and inaccuracies.
So we're gonna sit here and look at
I would agree
lies
with
and
that.
inaccuracies.
You're the ones calling them lies and inaccuracies, not me, so we'll put the numbers up again so you
You
can say.
can't accept the numbers, so you think they're gonna magically change till you get numbers that you want.
Parking lots and.
Hey, listen, if they're lies and inaccurate, you tell me which ones are, and we'll move on from there. Go ahead, Randy.
I go today.
Yeah, we're 5 board members that voted to do this, yeah.
You couldn't have summarized
Well, and I'll go through them briefly because some of these are budget meetings as well too. The index for 2013, Ringgold School District was 2.76 mils, which if we would have raised taxes, which we did not, it would have been 2.76 would have been the max that we could have went to for the 12-13 school year. We talked about this debt refunding. At that time, we were looking at 215. We seen tonight that we achieved 373,000 by doing it over the internet auction way rather than the negotiated sale. We talked about the debt and the debt transfer and how we could possibly close at that time the $261,000 gap that we had.
That 261 was down to 116 and
Let him do the presentation, Bill. It's not your numbers, it's his numbers.
well, it's
It's
changed.
his numbers. He'll direct you accordingly. It's not your numbers, it's not my numbers, it's not their numbers. It's his numbers. Who, Bill and,
Randy, go under start. Go under the start thing. Right, take arrow under start. And do you see where it says my computer?
Oh, yeah, go under another one.
Go under my computer. And then you'll be able to open up your jump drive. That's a removable district area.
Okay,
You pay attention, Chuck?
No, he's running in Scotty's car.
that was in May. We'll go to the June budget meeting workshop as well too here. And at that time, we were looking at the cuts we were discussing, both Plan A and Plan B. I'm not going to go into the detail of those cuts.
Just very quickly, Randy, here's where the discussion came up where I need clarification.
Hey,
Seriously.
I couldn't talk. I don't think you should talk, Larry.
I just wanted to go back a slide.
No, and I'm not allowed to talk either, so why are you allowed to talk?
whoa.
I don't want to say a number.
Somebody has a question is one thing, to say those numbers are wrong or this. These are Randy's numbers.
Nobody's saying the numbers are wrong, Charlie. We said we're tired of hearing them over and over and over and over.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
Just for clarification, on the last couple you had on what cuts we needed, those were there to do what, or if we wanted to do what? If you could back up a couple slides. Right, okay, one more before that. Okay, now, yes, when were these here, what were they going to do for us is my question, that's all, no comment other than that.
This was
These were
a maintenance work.
Okay, when you started with the,
Trying to balance the budget.
go back one more.
That's in
during the budget work sessions.
That was for last year.
Right.
For the year that we're in now, the 12-13 year, yes.
We did this last May.
Okay, very, very good. That's
I
how.
was requested to go back all the way.
All right, I thought that was something we had
February
done after
and
that
go
point.
over these.
That's good, that's all.
Just go to the numbers, make sure
Requested you to
they're
do
accurate. Just make sure they're accurate and
Who
truthful.
requested you to do that?
Yeah.
Doctor, I believe Mr. Smith did.
How many times?
Well, he through Dr. McCabe, so Dr.
How many times did he request you to do a different budget, a different presentation? How many times? Over and over and over? One board member.
Yeah, how many board members approved for him to do this? Were there 5?
Nobody. He was told to do it and he did it.
By only one board member, so there weren't 5, so the thing wasn't followed.
That's correct.
Hey, excuse me, will you please go on with the presentation?
Again, we talked about the summary of the debt transfer. At this time, during this meeting, we've reduced it down to 116,000. This is exactly where we ended up with the in the budget at that time. So that's June 13th. Here's August 22nd special meeting. I think I actually might be missing a few up here as well too. Tried to get them all, but looks like I. Okay, at the this one here, we looked at future general fund budget financial impacts. We looked at the 8-year projected employer contribution rates. And in the far right column, you can see the projected increase in the net contribution rate. And again, based on down at the bottom here, this is estimated on $18 million annual payroll. And the information is from the Public Employees, School Employees Retirement System.
Now, the bonds that we sold today takes how much money off of where?
I don't have the sheet in front of me. I believe this year it's going to take $60,000. It's going to reduce that $60,000 and $300,000 in the next budget year.
So that would be 13, 14?
Yes, that is correct.
So that would take $350,000 or $300,000 off?
Yeah, I think it's a little over 3. It's on the blue sheet. The amortization.
Jump back one call, one sheet there, Brady. No, that last.
So 13, 14 is going to take $300,000 off of it.
Yeah, a little over 300 we'll be saving on the from the bond sale.
You had a chart before this that had numbers on it?
Not in this one, no. That's
This
the
one here,
first
yeah, that's
slide
the one I
right
want,
there.
the one you were just on.
Right here.
No, the other one.
The next
That was
one?
it. There it is, okay.
Yeah, that's the millage. That would be millage impact equivalent to those net increases.
But we need to take $300,000 off of that, correct?
We could, whenever we put the budget together for 13, 14, we can discuss how we would use or not use that savings that we gained today. What's that?
She told us to use it for one item and not to like. Yes.
Not something that's going to be.
Sorry, correct.
Yeah. But it's 10.54 mils.
Yes.
Well, yeah, if you add up
Yeah,
bills for all
2021.
eternity, they're going to keep adding up.
Well, I think that's just the next, how many years? 8 years?
Yes.
Are you CPA? Are you CPA?
No, I have not yet.
How long have you been in accounting?
Since I graduated college in '89.
Okay, and how long have you been in accounting for school districts?
Since 2000.
Is this the way you prepare a financial analysis? Is this just looking at only costs?
No, you have to look at everything. You not only your increases, you have to look at your estimated revenue increases and any estimated reductions in expenditures that you may
Okay, so
have.
this
as
is a
well.
one-sided projection.
Yes, most of these pretty much show just expenditures except maybe
So
one
it's
of the
not
last.
five. And who prepared these?
I prepared this.
Well, when we asked you to prepare us process, this is what you prepared for us.
Now, if I were to prepare a net of everything, I would include everything, both the revenue side and the reductions in expenses.
Then why haven't you presented that?
Because you didn't want him to.
Well, if we can
No,
go to
that's
that.
not true. Why do you say that, Mary Ann? Now, why
Because
would
it
you
is
say that?
true. He's,
I asked him to prepare a presentation for us on where we're at, where we gotta go.
without taking in what we're going to be bringing in.
Randy, are you telling me that this isn't your presentation on what we're supposed to do?
This information here it is, yes it is.
Okay, and who presented all this stuff? Did I present this or did you?
No, I did. I think do you want me to pull up the one that you're referring to where it shows the 745?
Well, if you go back, you'll see that 750 is there, and all I asked you to do is,
Were you instructed not to include?
be very careful, Randy.
Oh, yeah, you might get fired.
Yeah.
You might get fired if you're not very careful.
Threatening.
That's called a threat.
Don't threaten, check her.
That's called a threat. That's called intimidation. That's called bullying.
Move on with the program, Randy.
Isn't
Move on with the program.
there an anti-bullying
This is some of the increases that we could possibly see, the 300,000 in basic ed. If we had a 2 or 3% increase. And again, we're looking at the 2012, 2013 millage impact, which would be $345,000. Some of the other factors that we talked about, again, transferring from the debt service fund, possible savings from retirements, shared service savings, and hopefully the increase in the EIT collection through the Act 32 process, and hopefully the economy improvement as well too. Possible cost savings, we looked at increased class size, elimination of programs, elimination of athletic programs, reduced textbooks and materials, and adjustments to transportation. That was the August meeting. The September 4th meeting. We were looking at renovations here. We looked at the cost of, I think this may be, here's some other cost reductions that we talked about at that time. The alteration of the gear program, fine arts electives, purchasing textbooks, again, athletics, restructuring athletic coaching, do not fill the maintenance position in the 12-13 budget, proposed legislation would cap cyber school, and I think Mr. Maddy touched upon that. Village increase projected to be spread out. Again, this was related to some type of project related to either MECD, ECU, or middle school. And going to the index of 2.76. Other revenue possibilities, again, we looked here, what a 2 to 3% increase would be. Act 32, transfers from the debt service fund, possible savings from retirement, possible shared services, and transportation funding increases. I think the presentation that Mr. Smith is referring to is this presentation. This information was
As
requested by
Mr. Smith.
Around everything.
Yeah, I asked for a 5-year vision.
and then this.
Well, you gotta get it make it
Yeah, I
smaller.
gotta get a
There
little
you
smaller.
go.
Here it is.
There you go.
Okay, let me go. Okay, and this is the presentation, and during this, what we looked at here is our budgeted expenditures for the 12-13 year, which is $38,988,000, and actually,
Try using your arrow.
hold on, I think I might, I think I had it saved as a,
I know, Rick, we're slided as me, so it might not be there.
oh, okay.
Okay, it would be on your desktop.
Now, what we did here was, the request was to assume $750,000 budget increase with no other changes, and just looking at the millage impact of that and the money that we would have to come up with. So this presentation was prepared the way that we had 750 in increased expenditures every year with no revenue increases coming in at all and no expenditure decreases, looking at it as well too. And then looking at what the millage would be to cover that, and you would need 6 mills to cover 750,000 every year. And assuming the 2.76 that we had in this current year, and that does change, what the difference would be, which would be $405,000 is the difference.
Okay, and then the question was, raising taxes 2.76 mils. What would we have to, what would be your priority or Karen's priority on eliminating programs or whatever? What was the priority? And that was put over there in the right-hand column, areas to include, increase class size.
Yeah, but there was no place in there for extra income coming in or for things coming in.
Last year, we cut 1.5 million out of the budget, is that right, Randy? The balance of the budget was like 1.5 million? Give or take. Randy?
Yes.
The year before, did we not find 2.1 million?
Yeah, we
Okay, and the reason for that was because of the state.
The state fall-off, that is. Well, really federal, combination federal state.
Okay, so what do you think we're gonna have this year? 0? Because it was 2.1 million 2 years ago, it's 1.5 million last year. What do you think we're gonna have to find next year when you add all this in?
And how do you think we did that without raising taxes, not 1 mil, Charlie? We did that without raising taxes 1 mil, not 1 mil.
Yeah, those 2 years, we didn't raise the taxes at all.
Okay, Ray,
0 mil.
Karen, how many teachers did, we just did the severance and so forth, how many teachers did we get rid of through attrition last year? Through retirement,
Yeah.
and did not
Well,
replace?
it was really last year and this year.
Well, how many was it?
I would say
It was
20 between the past 2 years.
20 teachers, and how many are we gonna be able to get rid of next year?
I don't know.
Okay, what program?
I mean, if we offer retirement incentive, we'd be able to save some money there, even if we replace those people, the people who are retiring at the
Sure.
top of the scale.
Are we gonna have the opportunity though next year like we had the last year with people exiting? In your opinion?
In my opinion, if we have people, if we offer a retirement incentive, we're going to have to replace most of the people that retire.
You're gonna have to replace them. So
At a
the
lower
savings-
salary.
The savings would only be a short-term, maybe a 5-year thing until they got their steps in or something, or?
Oh, no, it would take them 18 years to get.
Yeah, we have 19 steps in ours.
Okay. But, you know, the savings is just on the reduced salary until they
Right,
build up the
as opposed to the
Right.
total salary.
Right. Not being able to have the savings that we experienced the last couple of years by some of the things we've done.
Yes, that's
All
correct.
right, that's dried up, pretty much.
Give 6 meals like every year. That's not like 6 meals and then that another 6 meals is 12 and Berkeley. How, where you got your?
What that 6 mills is, if our budget went up like this every year, 750,000, and we had no new revenue coming in, and we had no expenditures falling off of the books, we would have to raise 6 mills to generate
Okay, so
750,000.
13, 14, the way that stands, you raise 6 meals. Okay, now you got 6, and then 14, 15, now does that mean that 6 meals is added to the other 6, which
Yeah.
is 12 meals? And then the next meals, is that's what that's doing? So basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's like 30 meals you're projecting, is that what you're
No,
saying?
I'm not projecting that, this.
But that's what it's saying, you know.
That's what that's saying.
That's what it's saying.
We've never raised like this. Since I've been here, we've never raised taxes like this, ever.
That's
So
fine.
this is
And
That's because you've always included the income coming in, and you were told
We've
not to
worked the whole
include
picture.
time
income.
out, Mary, time out. I got
This means nothing.
Okay, good.
one question.
The message was sent.
One question, and I want to point it out. You cut 3 million out of your budget,
Yeah.
and it didn't seem to hurt anything.
I would
Did
go-
you ever think
I would go-
that there was too much fat in the budget to start with?
Absolutely, and I
Okay.
still think there is
Well,
more fat that in the budget.
And that's what I'm saying. So don't be patting yourself on the back because you
I'm
let,
not patting
you let the taxpayers, you let the taxpayers support over $3 million for how
Yeah,
long?
I would like
Bob,
to
I
say
still think there's stuff there.
I would like to
Yeah,
say
but wait,
something.
I really wouldn't go so far as to say there hasn't been any effect. I think there has been some.
What does this say right here?
For all of you,
There's a deal to increase classes, eliminate programs, which is curriculum. Eliminate athletic programs, reduce textbooks, and reduce materials, and then it
Is this
goes.
the way you?
Charlie, that's only if you don't count any money coming in, for God's sake.
Mary Ann, there was no money coming in. We cut the budget $1.5 million last year.
Phil, what was that you asked me?
Did we raise taxes, Charlie? Did we raise
You
taxes?
didn't want to, Mary Ann.
That's exactly right. We didn't have to. We
So
did
why,
not have
so
to.
why are you asking?
All this is just a bunch of assumptions.
yeah, in the comment that we had,
Inaccurate assumptions.
well, in the comment that we had nothing but fact in this budget, we eliminated positions and programs that did affect this curriculum. And not only that, all these employees that we're negotiating with now and have negotiated have sacrificed. The Act 93 administrators, can I talk? The Act 93 administrators give a freeze. Every contract we did, these people that work in this community has given freeze. It's not just fat in this budget that we found money. These people that work for this district have sacrificed to get where we're at right now. It's
And
a
I-
big
and I
comment
totally
that it was
disagree.
all there and we didn't
There's
work hard to get there. It's just absurd.
Good.
Well, the taxpayers.
How does your taxpayers
They don't have a dedicated pension plan that is sucking the life out of us.
Randy.
So don't tell me about how hard you work, because the
I didn't
people,
say
they
me.
pay them.
I didn't say me. I said everybody in this district.
Don't tell me about the taxpayers.
Including your wife, Bob.
Hey, that'll be
Your
enough.
wife.
That'll be enough.
Including your wife, Bob.
That'll be enough. Hey, Mary Ann.
Well, it's a fact. His wife's a teacher, a retired teacher. He acts like he don't know what Peasers is. He acts like he doesn't know about those retirements.
Listen, none of this is productive.
Mary Ann, you just got personal. She's a taxpayer, I'm a taxpayer.
Hold it.
And then you're wrong.
Listen, we got this to get through, and then one motion, we're out of here, okay? Randy.
Yes.
Randy.